all right, this is different. Well, it's kind of different. Not totally different. So I noticed there were no movies coming out this week that I truly give a shit about. But Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has a demo that's out. Played that. Care about that. If only I had a YouTube channel in which I could talk about that. Wait, I do. So all right, we're going to talk about that. This isn't a review. It's just kind of what I call word vomit. Just my thoughts. Also, as I talk about this, I will talk about what was shown on screen, but I'm not going to talk about, oh, where it's going to go later. I'm going to approach this like you have never played Final Fantasy VII before. So no spoilers, except for, you know, what's in the demo currently. Like it ends off at a point. I'm not going to tell you what happens after that. I will not rob you of experiencing the story of Nibelheim. That would be messed up. So the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth demo starts out in calm, and Cloud's like, hey, let me tell you a story about Nibelheim. I didn't actually think the demo was going to do this, it being so lore heavy and important. I thought they were going to save that for the game, but it is the next step after Midgar. After Midgar, you go to Calm, and Cloud's like, so here's how it went down. And actually, after you finish the demo, it tells you, okay, in the game, you don't have to play the Nibelheim segment. You can skip it. To which I say, I never skip Nibelheim. I will play it again because I've played it through Crisis Core multiple times, through Final Fantasy VII proper multiple times. Nibelheim's gotta be my favorite town storyline in any Final Fantasy ever. I actually propose the hypothesis that the story of Nibelheim as it starts to how it concludes, all of it is what elevates Final Fantasy VII to be the god tier status it currently is. It truly mind-fucked my mind, so it's cool to see that in this remake cinematic structure. So in this demo, it goes down like Final Fantasy VII does, you know? You stroll up to Nibelheim, you got Sephiroth in your party, he's this cool dude that you could definitely have a drink with. Kind of seems like a guy who wouldn't have a drink, he's that to the job. But still, he has that stature and presence of a leader. You want him to respect you, which is kind of the point. All around good dude, right? Nothing could go wrong. And yeah, as it's Cloud telling the story, you go into Tifa's house and she interrupts like, you went into my house? And you can be like, yes or no. Yep, I went through your drawers. But yeah, you can play the piano. I don't think I have a capture of me playing the piano. Guess I didn't want the internet knowing I suck at playing a digital piano on a PS5 controller. Point is, I was like, dun, 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 da, 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 and then I left. Basically how I actually do play a piano, so there is that. Then you gotta hike to this reactor, that's when the battles happen. It gives you a fair amount of materia to play with. But getting into the battles, man, I had to slough off that rust. I felt like Tom Cruise in Top Gun Maverick when he sits in his old fighter jet cockpit and he's like, it's been a minute. A Sephiroth in this game plays exactly how he plays on the PlayStation or PS1 if you prefer. He's absolutely completely broken, and it's amazingly satisfying dispatching enemies with him. There's even some Uncharted climbing mechanics integrated into here. I will say the boss in the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth demo, the boss of this segment, is not as difficult as the Scorpion Sentinel, who was the boss in the Final Fantasy VII Remake demo. He just wasn't. The Scorpion Sentinel, you had to use Barret in some scenarios, Cloud and others. This one's like, all right, player, you want to beat the shit out of him or beat the fuck out of him? How you want to do it? Shinra Manor layout's different. I found that weird. That threw me off. I was like, it's not there. It's over there? And tone of voice being everything, when Cloud goes back and visits Sephiroth after about a week, and he's read all these books, he is just different. Always was the case, but again, that's the great part of playing this story in this playable cinematic glory. You see the moment he sounds different. His tone of voice has changed. This is not the same guy you went into battle with a week ago. He's just built different now. And it does hit a little different. When I play this game, I will try not to nitpick, you know? It's like, oh, that's not exactly how it went down in the old game. Shinra Manor layout's different. I found that weird. That threw me off. But it's worth addressing how things are executed makes it hit different. You know, in Final Fantasy VII, you just come up on Sephiroth killing a couple people, and then he looks up at you and he has that iconic moment, you know, like, is that the most iconic shot in video game history? It's like anytime a property or a something uses Sephiroth, it's an opportunity to show that moment. I mean, shit, it's his windscreen in Smash Brothers Ultimate. Even Game of Thrones Season 8 was like, yeah, we'll take that, thanks. But you play through it more, you have this kind of tedious, but I get it, moment where you're pushing the L2 and R2 buttons and you're trying to crawl while he's just killing folks. Then he walks by you and turns around, and that's when the iconic shot is. It's almost like, it's like, oh yeah, that's right, I gotta turn around and do that one shot. I'll even look down and then look up at you so I can look up at you, and perfect. But as he walks into the fire, that's where the demo ends. I guess there's gonna be another demo also that plays more with the open world element to it. I guess it got me more excited than all of the trailers. I mean, there was actually this short trailer that came out. It was like two trailers ago, not the last one, not the most recent one, but the one before it. Just a couple minutes long. That was actually my favorite trailer, but something about playing it and being in the world, doing the combat, experiencing this chapter of the story. I do like how this does have references, bits of dialogue, visual cues that if you know, you know. And if you don't, you'll just be like, oh, all right, whatever. It's just, doesn't mean anything. If that makes sense, like people who know the story of Final Fantasy VII are going to be like that Leo DiCaprio meme. People who don't might not think anything of it. Point is, it just gets me excited. It gets me excited to experience the whole thing in cinematic glory. It gets me excited for other people who haven't to experience this for the first time. Yes, the last game dealt with those retcon spirit whisper things, and we're going to deal with them in here too. I hope they don't use those things to undo or keep from happening very important and iconic moments from Final Fantasy VII that, again, were other things that led to Final Fantasy VII hitting God tier. Those moments are very important moments. We've kind of already seen how that's possible. We'll see how it plays out. Point is, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth demo, I thought it was great. I love the fact that it's the Nibelheim segment. To a point, anyway. I mean, there's more that happens after Sephiroth walks away from Cloud, but again, that's what I like about it. I like that you get Nibelheim, but you don't get all of it. It's a proper hook, you know? Like, if I'm just playing this and I never played Final Fantasy VII, I'd be like, what happens next? I have to play it. Guess I gotta pre-order it. Oh, I guess that's the point of demos. All right, so the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth demo. Have you played it? What did you think about it? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.